Hi, fancy that walk and chat? Come on. So, following on with the self care theme, where I spoke about being 3 years sober, the myths of self care, hormones in the home, and how we don't need fixing. Following on from all that, I'm talking today about grounding in the busy, noisy world. The things that I do that help, that have changed over the years and helped me. And something I've come across as well is a theory that I want to share with you that made it all make sense. It was like having this missing piece in the self care world. So I'm going to come on to that in a bit. But first, I want to start with the little things that I've done over the years, or maybe changed slightly, that's helped me to look after myself, care for myself, which inevitably means that I've looked after myself with self-care, self-worth. So firstly, I think in the busy, noisy world, and especially being a mum, is having a bit of silence and a bit of time for me. So time for me could be anything. It could be going out and doing things. But for me, having some silence has been life-changing, really, because it is so noisy. So I'll get up in the morning now and sit on the balcony. It's still dark. I get up that early, it's still dark. And I love that time. Now, it might not look the same every morning. I've got fluidity in that, So some mornings I'll just sit and just look out over the balcony, over to the pool where we're here in Malaysia, and just have a presence, and see how life is still. That is good for me. Because, if we're doing this from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we don't get that stillness. We don't see that stillness. And that's probably one of the reasons why I've sort of come away from meditation at that time of day as well. I stopped doing meditation so much because I'm like, well, if I get up in the morning, first thing I do is then close my eyes again. I'm not really paying attention to the world, and I'm not still in the world. I'm not seeing the stillness in the world. So that's been helpful to me, just paying attention, just being in the silence. And then I move on to putting some tunes on. And I have a playlist that I tend to put on, but I'm getting a bit bored of it now, to be honest. So I might change that up a bit. But I put a few songs on. So this balcony is sort of like, I don't know, 1 metre by 2 metres-ish. It's not a lot of room. Don't need a lot of room. Put the music on and I'll start to move my body. Now, speaking as somebody who has a background in fitness, I trained in exercise to music. I've got a qualification in exercise to music. So I used to do aerobics and things. I used to teach it on the cruise ships at one point, many years ago. When it comes to music and dancing and exercise and moving your body, it's almost like I'm programmed to move your body a certain way. It must be in the sagittal plane or the frontal plane, basically like a robot. Move like that. But what I've come across in my later years and being more in my feminine is to just move my body how it wants to move. So I'll find myself just flowing, not like this, I've come away from the masculine kind of exercise, and that feels empowering to me. It feels like I'm embodying movement, and I love that. And I just go with the music. And then sometimes I'll want to do the exercise, so I don't say never do it. I've started to do some really deep squats. I've started to get back into sort of press-ups and sit-ups and all that stuff. But I go with the flow, and that's my time. And from someone that really likes routine, to be saying out loud that I'm just flexible, I'm just doing what I feel like in the morning, it seems a bit bizarre. But it is empowering, it is embracing for me, and it's really, I'm enjoying it. It doesn't feel like a chore. And then I come down here and do my walk and talk. It takes me 15 minutes to get down here in a morning, and I see lots of monkeys. Seen both of the kinds today. The brown ones, I forget what they're called, begins with a M, and the black dusky monkeys, dusky leaf monkeys. And then I've seen a few squirrels. So I'm in one with nature as I'm walking down. I don't listen to music. I pay attention. That's like, I guess that's mindful walking, right? I'm watching people going to work. And then I get here and I switch on my creative brain and I think about what I'm going to say, how I might say it. And then I just think, just press record and go. So that's me. And for me, I prefer to do that in the morning. I do the thing that I need to do in the morning and then I can rest. That's just how I work. I've tried it the other way. I've tried relaxing and then getting up and doing it. It's like the other day we went for a meal out and we had to do shopping. So it made sense to do the shopping last and then come home. Obviously, if you've got things that are going to get melted and defrosted in this weather. So I had a nice meal and it was all relaxed. And then I was like, oh, now I've got to get up and do. And I can't do that. Like I struggle to do that. So, and that's the thing about self-care, isn't it? It's knowing yourself. I think that's a big thing that I've found is knowing yourself and knowing what works. I used to meditate. I used to do Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, like an hour and a half. But then I had 2 kids and I home educate and life does just get busy and noisy. And I found myself just coming away from it. And so instead of meditation, what I like to do now is have those quiet times, those periods of silence in the day. So I do that in the morning and then find little slots where I'll do it in the day. I'll admit I've not been brilliant at that, but when I do it, I feel so much better. So that's something where I'm still implementing that. Just doesn't have to be long, but just sitting in silence. Again, with your eyes open or paying attention, enjoying that silence. Because I feel like if you close your eyes, you switch off from it all and then you're never really in it. So they're just a few things that help me. Obviously, being somewhere like this in a warm country, you can take your shoes off and you can ground, like literally ground. I mean, I know people that do it in the winter anyway, but it's not something I would choose to do. Take your shoes off and go in your garden in the snow. I know people that do it. So, like yesterday, for example, we had a beach day with a few families and feet were off in the sand and it just felt so good, you know. Grounding, being in nature is a massive help in self-care. I watched a video the other day about how a guy was saying, he was back in the UK, he was feeling the grind, he was sat in his car, he was saying, I'm really not liking my life, I'm working my ass off, I'm not getting anywhere. It's just, you could hear it in his voice and I was just so pleased that he shared it because I think men need to do that more often. And a lot of people in the comments were saying how they resonated with that, for one. But then the next level of comments were saying, nature, get out in nature. Because while he was filming it, he looked out the window and there was a robin and he said, oh, there's a robin there. The robin means something, doesn't it? It means that your loved ones are coming close, so they must be helping me through this. And there was a lot of comments on that as well. But yeah, nature just gets on. Nature doesn't think things have to wait to be perfect to manifest. You know, nature just happens. One of the things I did a little post and I said, one of the questions I had before I came out here was, how do you know the seasons when you're in a hot country all the time? Will I understand that? And then we've got a little couple of birds, little lovebirds that are on our porch and they're making a nest. And I'm like, yeah, nature knows. Nature knows when it's time to do things and they just do it. You know, they get on. They don't have to be perfect. The nest isn't perfectly round, you know. It's found a little nook in the drain. I'll put a picture up. It's found a little nook in the drain and it's just made a cute little nest. So they're the things that I do on a regular basis. And then I came across this, which really married it all together. It's called the Polyvagal theory. And it's like a ladder that you go up and down at different times. But you have what's called the dorsal vagal. And that is where you can't cope and you shut down. Okay, that freeze mode. And then you have what's called the sympathetic nervous system, and that's where you're in the fight, flight, fight. We've all heard of that. Danger, danger, must go, do, do, do. That's the busy, busy. That's the I've got to keep going all the time. And then you have the ventral vagal, and that's where you feel connected to the world and safe. And the fact is, talk about perfectionism, we feel that we have to be in that ventral vagal all the time. And if we're not, we're doing something wrong in life. And this is where the light bulb came for me, because realizing and understanding a little bit, not massive, but understanding this polyvagal theory, is that you can go from the dorsal vagal to the ventral vagal. You can go from the freeze mode to the flight, fright mode all the time, and you flit in between. When I heard this, I was like, God, I'm in that all the time. I very, very rarely get to the ventral vagal. I very rarely get to I'm connected to everyone and everything, because I'm too busy in the other two. Do, burnout, freeze, can't do anything. Do, burnout, freeze, can't do anything. Then these things that I'm talking about, if we did them in the day, every day, even when it's good, even when the going's good, and we did them every day, it means we'll have some time in that ventral vagal. So it means we'll have some time in the day, every day, where we feel safe and open and comfortable and connected to ourselves and those around us. So it's not to live in this perfectionism that we're going to be in that state all the time. Understand that we go through it. I watched a video of an impala. Didn't even know what an impala was until I watched this video. And it's this sort of gazelle kind of like animal that had been captured by the throat by a cheetah. But the cheetah got distracted. So this impala played dead. It went all limp. The cheetah ran off. And then the camera's still rolling on this impala. And you didn't look like it was breathing. It looked like it was dead. So it was playing dead, right? So it's in freeze mode. And then you see the belly breathe. So and the belly is breathing so deeply. You've heard that, right? Breathing exercises helps, because when the breathing is deep, it's showing our nervous system that we are okay, because we don't breathe deeply if we're in fight flight. If we're in fight flight, it's shallow chest breathing. So this impala then goes into this deep breathing, and it's telling its nervous system, okay, I'm getting there, I'm safe. And then it goes into shake, and it's proper shaking. And that's it going into the fight flight again to really shake it all out. Because we talk about all these hormones that are released, right? Adrenaline. But what happens to them? No one really talks about that. You know, you're in fight flight, adrenaline's released, cortisol's released. And then what? You've got to get rid of it. So the body shakes it out, moves it through the body until you then get the better hormones that take over and say, now I'm okay, now I'm safe. And it just got up and ran off. If you've got dogs, you've probably seen that. You take them out for a walk and they've met other dogs and it's growly and it's rah, and then they shake it off and walk on. Nothing's happened. You know, it's like your kid, your toddler, has had a massive meltdown in the supermarket, kicking and screaming on the floor. And then as time passes and that's allowed to come out, they carry on as if nothing's happened, and you're like ruminating on it, going, can't believe you did that. They've forgotten. They're on to the next thing. They're present moment, you know? So when we're present, we can see these things and we can see how this plays out. But my point is, with this ventral vagal, the light bulb moment for me was that it's normal to be in fight flight. Let's not resist it. Let's not push against it. It's also normal to be in freeze. Let's not push against that. When you feel numb and you can't do anything, you can't get up in the morning, that's normal. The problems are when we're in those phases all the time. So that's why I'm saying, try and do these little bits, these little nuggets, whatever works for you. Try as many little self-care tidbits as you can throughout the day, so that you can say to your body, your nervous system, saying, I'm all right, I'm safe. If it is a quick meditation, if it is just sitting in silence and doing nothing, if it is just doing a few breathing exercises, whatever works for you, try them all out, see what works. And then you do that throughout the day, and you're saying to yourself and your body, I'm safe, I can come out of fight flight, I can come out of the freeze mode. So I just wanted to reflect on that today. Those are my reflections on grounding in this busy, noisy world and what's helped me, and the aha moment that came from this theory, the polyvagal theory. I would love to hear what your reflections are on this. Let's reflect together. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye for now.